It's a time for closure, time for new beginnings. The Masters got closed yesterday. Scotty Scheffler won. I had a parent-teacher conference this morning. Trey, your favorite.
How was that?
Great. 10 minutes in and out.
Is it pre-spring break, post-spring break?
Post.
So right when you get back from spring break, they bring you in for the parent-teacher conference, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And she did great. The things you want to hear, like, they give you the test scores and go over like what things to work on and all that stuff. And she's very kind. And those are the things that as a parent, as much as you are like, ooh, what were her test scores? Like, how's she doing on level? Like what, like that, that she's really good in the classroom and helps others, and she's super kind is great. She also is very disorganized, and I just raised my hand and I was like, "You're welcome. That's me. That's me." Which brings me to the other piece of closure: is the 82 game Blazers season. My first year as a broadcaster has come to a close. And I did not have a hot mic incident for the entire 82 game.
Wow, yes,
Woo-hoo.
yes.
And I made it through. Thank you. And
not
it's honestly
a single Leslie Nielsen going to the bathroom moment.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah, I did it. That was my biggest fear, was like getting through 81 games and then game 82 when like 7 people are watching the Kings Blazers game that really, like, the Kings needed it, but I just knew that there was going to be something that would ruin the entire year. But what I did was I did the Haberstrophes, Trey Mays. I did the Haberstrophes.
I like that. There's your pun. Start counting those puns for Tom today.
So I did the Haberstrophes, which is a column I used to do back in the day, where at the end of the year I gave some hardware out, some awards, some like nerdy awards, and I ended up giving out like 9 Haberstrophes during the broadcast because the game was so out of hand that Kevin Calabro and Lamar Hurd were like, "Hey, does Tom have another Haberstrophe to give out? Please." And so Delano Banton I gave for the 6th man of the year for the Blazers, averaging 16 points a game as a reserve. I really like Delano's game. I think he's kind of IQ Emmanuel quickly, but he's 6'9", slithery, gets into the paint at the rack. Shot 0 for 15 from downtown last night, set a new NBA record, and trucked a guy to eject himself from the game. I get it, bro. If you're 0 for 15 in the season finale, kind of just, I'm out. I'm done. I love his game, though.
He had a flight to catch.
What's your limit on missed shots, especially threes?
Well, I joked about it, given the Kobe 60 final game anniversary where he shot 50 shots to get 60. I said, your average star doesn't chuck more than 25 to 29.
Yeah, and
yeah. And the idea, like, how exhausted you would be to shoot 50 shots with defense, with distance, with leaving it all on the floor. Literally, the most I've ever taken in a game probably was 19 shots. My meter, if my first 3 are not going in, I'm probably not taking any more jump shots. I'm trying to find a way to get to the free throw line.
Is that because you're afraid of the coach pulling you, or you're afraid of being like 0 for 7?
No, it's just a Hooper's thing of like, you got to see it go in the basket first. Like, you can get off like feeling like, oh yeah, I can fire it. And the shots that you normally make, you're trying to adjust each time. So you're like, damn, that one was short. That one was in and out.
Yeah.
What's going on after that third one? Because you're like, I'm doing everything right, but like, you're killing your team possessions wise and digging a deeper hole trying to find it. So you
put yourself above the team.
And at this point, now you play make. You make a pass, assist. Now you back screen and hopefully you get a layup. Maybe you run a lane hard and you steal a layup right there. Now I got a feeling my confidence is back up. Now I can go back and start taking shots and seeing how it is. Now, if I keep missing shots, then now I'm switching my role to like, hey, me as a former point guard, I'm looking at, Now I got to rebound more. Now I got to get steals because my shot is not there today.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take myself completely out the game. Some people are just so offensively driven to a point where they're like, I'm going to keep shooting. And it's like, yo, you're killing us, bro. You're killing us right now. It's clearly not your night. It's not your night. You're doing something wrong.
There's got to be those circumstances in the last game of the year, right? Where you're like, I just want to end on a positive note.
Mm-hmm.
The game 82 factor here and Kobe's final game factor, Trey. If it's the last game of the regular season and you know it doesn't have any stakes to the postseason, that 0 for 3, I feel like goes to like 0 for 6 or 0 for 7 for you. Last game, no stakes.
Sure, right?
It's changing.
You could be Delano Blanton or you could be Gigi Jackson. Right? Gigi Jackson was on a tear. My parlay, I'm like, I only needed 21 from you. You're going to keep going? Oh, this is moral victory. You're just showing off now, bro.
Gigi Jackson wants them to lace it up again tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long off season for him to keep that heater going.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's thinking that way. But yes, my shot attempts probably would go up unless I've had a long season and I'm ready for this shit to be over.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole nother thing too. If you're on like
pack it up.
a stinky, I played on a stinky ass team where we lost 2 months straight. Right?
Yeah.
We were like 2-26 for the season. And I was just like, damn. You know what? I might be hurt this game. Because I just don't want to be out there. Like, I'm just not enjoying the sport. And I understand that part too. Where you're just like, but Delano Blanton, I don't know what bro was on.
He trucked the dude and then just went straight to the tunnel. It's like,
he knew.
Yeah, I'm out. Look, I have a newfound appreciation for anyone who does broadcasting games. It is hard work, and it's so much of it is I don't think people realize it's an all day, like 20-hour work shift, because you have to prep, you have to study up on your opponent, and then all of your prep could be thrown out the window in the last minute because of all the injuries in the NBA. So you're getting ready to talk about Kawhi, you're getting ready to talk about Booker, you're getting ready to talk about such and such, and then 30 minutes before the game starts, they're out for the game. So then you're back to the drawing board. What these guys, Kevin Calabro and Lamar Hurd, Travis, he does the radio. They're like worksheet. Their cheat sheet that they have in front of them is art. It's beautiful. It's amazing, all the prep that goes into these games that you watch every single night. And they're pulling double shifts because you prep all day and then the game happens and you're not off air until like 11, 12 at night locally. And so shout out to the people who get through 82 games and then got to do playoffs, because this it was a grime. Because we had a 3:00 every day, 7 hours before tip, we had a group meeting. So if it's a 10 o'clock Eastern tip off, I got to have all my stuff ready for 3:00 in the afternoon. And then we all go through the game topics, all this stuff. And so much of it is, hey, is this guy questionable tonight? He's questionable. It's the worst. It's the worst. It's not just for betting purposes, the worst. It's not just as a fan, but if you're trying to broadcast the game, you have like this DeAndre Ayton thing you want to get out. Like I want to talk about how DA is averaging 22 and 13 since the All-Star break. Only 2 other players have this, and you did all this mining and research, and then DA can't get out of his house.
So the first time that Delano Banton started going off, did you have prep on him? Or was this like I have to figure out who this dude is and something to talk about with him?
That's what was great about the Blazers this season, is they had dudes like that left and right where you didn't know. Like Dwap Reef, South Sudan.
Yeah.
Played in Lebanon, played all around the world, and shows up as a 27-year-old rookie and starts flailing threes. Boom, 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 boom. Like he's Steph Curry. It was amazing. I love this guy. I handed him a Haberstroh trophy for the end of the year as the king of pop because he loves to pick and pop. And there was Delano Banton. There was Dwap Reef, these guys who you just had no idea who they were. And they've been around, but just like this, now's their time to shine. And Trey, like I'm amazed at confidence. Like, I remember interviewing Kyle Korver one time, who's like arguably a top 10 shooter in NBA history to pick up a basketball. And to hear him talk about what it's like to miss 3 threes in a row and lose all your confidence about whether I can still shoot is amazing. So when Delano Banton goes 0 for 15 in a game and then trucks the dude and self-ejects him, I forget how frustrating it must be to be an NBA player and to have like your belief shaken in yourself. And I could not believe how like even the best in the NBA lose confidence like that. It's so fickle, even the best.
Yeah, I mean, look at a guy like Joe Harris, right?
Mm-hmm.
Known as a knockdown guy, has high percentage in the talks of top 10 every year. And when the Nets needed him most,
boom, just gone.
Just couldn't make a shot. And now you're on the bench because you're like, well, shit, I'm kind of a defensive liability. My main reason on the floor is to spread the floor so my guys can start driving. But if I don't make shots, now we can pack the paint. And if you keep missing, you're looking at your hands. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You're trying to find it. And some of the best, they can go 0 for 9 and make the big one. Some other ones, you might get a 3-game cold streak. I remember when Duncan Robinson was going through that shit where they weren't even playing him.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, bro, you can't make a shot. I won't mention this player's name, but they talked about playing with LeBron. And they said, when you're making shots, man, it's the best feeling because LeBron's pouring into you. Like, he loves you. It's like, oh man, it's the best thing to be on LeBron's good side.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're missing shots, because LeBron is a facilitator, he gets so much gravity that he's able to kick it to whoever and get you that look, and you're missing, he's not fucking with you. He's not talking to you. He don't want to see you. You're making his life harder.
Yeah, he's got to do it himself now.
He's getting you the looks. And that's the worst feeling because, again, especially somebody as magnifying as a LeBron James or a Kevin Durant or a Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know if Jokic just like that on his teammates about not making shots. But the guys who are the guys are like, make the fucking shot.
That's the thing about team sports, right? Is LeBron can be so good, but at the end of the day, so much of his fate is dependent on his teammates performing. And that's why I find it fascinating when NBA players decide to go into golf, like get really into golf after basketball. It makes so much sense to me, right? Because it's you control.
Mm-hmm.
It's you. It's a 1-on-0 sport. It's not tennis 1-on-1. It's a 1-on-0. It's you against the elements, right? And so I think that's what is so appealing to NBA players is the idea I control everything. And that's what's so different about basketball versus golf versus tennis versus even baseball. Baseball is an individual sport masquerading as a team sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it matters. And that's the thing. Like, bro, when you're individually praised, that's why I like the whole it's a team sport thing, but like, it's not. It's not. Because we check the shit and we're like, who had the most points? Who didn't take the shot? What did he do? It counts on that because, again, you don't look at your teammates and be like, well, he had such and such, so this is why he wasn't successful. Nobody wants to hear that. Can you deliver? We came to see you. That's why I'm paying my hard-earned money, because I came to see you. I'm wearing your jersey because I like you, not the team.
Trey, I have exactly what you're talking about right here in my inbox from the NBA. The top 10 most viewed players on social this season. Okay. Number 1, LeBron James, 1.9 billion. Do you know what his team record was? They were the 8th seed. Okay.
Yeah.
The 8th seed. Number 2 on the list, most viewed players in the NBA this season. Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors, 1.7 billion views. They were at a 10 seed. Okay. Number 3 on that list,
Giannis.
Wemby?
Guess again. Wemby.
There he is.
Well, oh, he earned it.
Yeah.
1.3 billion views for Wemby, and that team was dog shit, right? Number 4, Luka. Number 5, Kyrie. Number 6, Jokic. Number 7, Ant Edwards. That you know what?
The dunk in the block will do a lot of water carrying on that one right there.
And number 8, Giannis. Okay, so 8 is Giannis, 9 is Jason Tatum, and 10 is KD. Okay, so KD is on the top 10 here at 476. All those guys, most of them are on not good teams, or at least middle of the pack teams. And it doesn't matter. That's what people want to see. That's what people care about. And I think it's fascinating. Like Jason Tatum on the best team in the NBA by far, record-wise, 64-18, 9th on the list. This NBA is an individual sport. People care about the individuals, the star players, and they drive the numbers. It's not about... I wish Wemby was on a better team. I feel like Wemby would be an MVP candidate if he was on a better team, if he was on a better supporting cast. And it's bullshit that an MVP discussion matters about how good your teammates are rather than you as a player. Because I think Wemby is so much better than what I think the hype is in terms of the awards. And it's all because the Spurs are tanking.
Just wait till next year, Tom.
They're trying to go Cooper flag next to Wemby.
Plant your flag.
This is the Coming Home Podcast. I'm Tom Haberstroh. That's Trey Edwards. And our producer, Anthony Mays. We're going to talk about the playoffs here, the matchups that we know are set. The 3-6, 4-5 matchups, the East and West. We're also going to talk about the time lost. LeBron James somehow was taking part in a time-space continuum time warp, where in a game on Friday night, the Memphis Grizzlies scorekeeper, timekeeper, just added 66 seconds to the game.
Father Time strikes back, Tom.
That's right.
The battle continues. LeBron versus Father Time.
Was that Nike or State Farm? What was that?
It was Nike. It was Nike. It was Jason Momoa.
That was Wyden Kennedy. You hear me?
Yeah. Trey will connect the dots here on how that time reappeared.
So we're going to talk about that. We're also for the Patreon later in the show. We're going to talk about the play-in, our thoughts about the play-in. We got all those matchups here coming up in a little bit. But first, let's talk about what we do know. We know the matchups for the 3-6, 4-5. Trey, I'm going to read them out to you. You tell me which one you're most excited about, most hyped for. Okay. 3-6 in the East. We've got Milwaukee versus Indiana. In the 4-5, we got Cleveland, Orlando, which is got NBA TV written all over it. 3-6 out west, we have Minnesota at the 3 seed versus Phoenix, the 6 seed. And then the 4-5 matchup, we got Clippers, Suns. Trey, which one are you staying up for?
Man.
He's stressed already. The games haven't even tipped.
Man, honestly, I really just because people are
yeah, he's going through
right now. Yeah. It's okay.
No, because again, I would love to be excited about a Milwaukee, Indiana, right? A little drama between that. There's a little going, but I know the behind the scenes part of that. You know what I mean? That one, they just fighting to stay alive. There's a lot of banged up guys just trying to figure it out in a very distracted, checked out superstar in Damian Lillard playing in this as the only quote unquote healthy guy. So if Milwaukee does edge it out, I don't want to see them get beat down on another this joint. Tyrese Halliburton, he was so busy trying to make this all-NBA joint that he just pushed through. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell. Guys are banged up. They're trying to make those 65 games so they can get paid. It's like I said, it's a whack ass rule, but fans have paid my hard-earned money. You're going to go out there and perform. We need it. You know what I mean? Cool. You willed your team to where they need to be, but man, that's going to stink. I'm really excited about Minnesota and Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because Anthony Edwards is must-see TV. And also, Phoenix is a mess, but they've got it going. And I'm still trying to believe in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very weird because it's like, they're supposed to win games, but they're going to have some challenges. I do think that they can knock out the Timberwolves, right? But they play weird games where they're like, I just lost by 18?
Yeah.
How? You look at it and it's like guys are like, they look like they're just having bad days.
I'm taking Minnesota in that one.
Clippers, Dallas is probably my favorite.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the one. That's everybody's favorite. I'm speaking for the world. That's everybody's favorite because playoff Luka is entertaining. You got Kyrie, who you don't know which Kyrie's going to show up, but I do believe Kyrie's going to have some amazing performances in that series. And then you got the questionable, big question mark of which Paul George do we get? Is Kawhi healthy? We're always robbed of Kawhi when he gets it going and he shows he's clearly the best end player. And then, wow, his knee.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
And you're like, huh? And then James Harden. Could he beat the allegations of him going ghost? He doesn't need that much pressure. He's like the third or fourth guy on this team at this point. And we get a Kai Jones. We get Kai Jones and Isaiah Thomas in the playoffs. So
yeah,
do the coach actually look down at
the Hornets? Charlotte Hornets. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
this is the year of the former Charlotte.
The city's on fire right now for the number 2 Knicks. The stat with OG playing is 20-3. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's crazy. But no Julius Randle.
Ewing theory.
I really want them I want them to play the Heat. I want them to play the Heat just for
I don't even know if you can go Ewing theory on Julius Randle, man. But we'll talk about the Knicks and the play-in. I want to go back to Milwaukee and Indiana for a second because you're right, Trey. They're on the downslope. Both teams have more or less pushed through to get to the end. But this is the matchup we wanted 3 months ago, after game ball gate, after Giannis wanted the game ball and he's running down the tunnel and the Pacers mysteriously it disappeared. And, that's following the matchup in the play-in tournament, which we all obviously keep in the forefront of our minds.
Right.
The playoff tournament, the in-season tournament semifinal. So I think there will be some interesting mentality off the court drama for that series. Will the on the court product be the best? Probably not.
Here's my prediction on that one. Whoever wins game 1 is going to win the series in 5.
Okay.
Whoever wins game 1, because I feel like the Pacers play the exact brand of basketball that is going to kill the Bucks if they execute right, because they love to run in transition, and the Bucks transition defense is a dumpster fire. Speaking of dumpster, amazing hat, Maze, the golden dumpster, which you can find at our merch store at Count the Things. It's beautiful. I like the color, the forest green there.
Yeah, I've been rocking a forest green sweatshirt for a lot of the days here, so that's why I went with the forest green and the golden dumpster. You get a nice little Notre Dame color scheme, got the green and gold. But yes, check it out. Golden Dumpster hats are available on the merch store. My golden dumpster has to go to Cleveland, Orlando. We have to talk about this playoff matchup, man. The Cavs have been sinking like a stone. Yes, we do, Tom.
Yeah.
Cleveland and Orlando have fans too, Tom. And I think this set up real nice for the Magic. They're looking at getting out of the first round all of a sudden. That's got to be exciting, right? For a young team, Tom?
Yeah, really exciting. And Franz Wagner's back, which is great for them. They play. It's funny to see like a Paolo Banchero. He's like the star. But I think that this team is very uniquely suited around him of great defenders and Jonathan Isaac, Jalen Suggs. The way that they mask his defense, like he's Blake Griffin, right? But he's not as like, he can't jump quite as high as Blake, but he's got a similar game where you kind of have to mask his defensive limitations. He's not as straight up 5. He's big enough to play 5, but just not as intuitive as a defender. And they grind you to pulp, man. And the same thing with the Cavs. This series has a potential to be 85-81 every single game. And it's Donovan Mitchell, that whole situation, it could get messy fast. If you like 90s basketball, the Magic Cavs is going to be your cup of tea. I'm telling you, it's going to be ugly. Really
so
ugly.
TV will be time traveling back to the 90s. Got it. Trey,
yeah, so
is this the last time we will see Donovan Mitchell in a Cavs uniform in this series?
No. I don't think the idea that you have to choose, and I think Donovan Mitchell has one more year.
Yeah, he does.
Mistaken. Yeah. So I don't think he's going to get away that easy. But if you have to choose Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland, DG's out of there. He's battled some injuries. He's inconsistent. I really like his game. I have high hopes that he's going to bounce back from this. But if I got to choose Donovan Mitchell over Darius Garland, I'm sorry, Darius Garland. You got to go.
Because Donovan, it's kind of duplicitous, right? In a way, like Donovan could be the focal point guard for that team.
Yep.
You know, he's got the size and the handle. Like it seems like it's a little bit redundant, which is kind of the same thing with the rest of the roster too. It's like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. You could probably get away with both of those guys being your 5s, but then they just haven't gelled together. They like all the stars. We keep talking about like when they get healthy, when they play together, watch out. Mm-hmm. And when they do get healthy, it hasn't been crisp. It hasn't.
No.
And the injury questions with them are the same thing for everybody else, right? That's what's a bummer about the Mavs series is I'm hyped for it. And then I remember Kawhi could not play in that entire series. We could never see Kawhi in that whole series. And that's the idea on paper. That's an amazing series. I'm going to go with Mavs in that series. I'm going to go Orlando with the Cavs. I'm going Minnesota over Phoenix. Who else have we talked about? Oh,
it's Milwaukee, Indianapolis.
Yo,
you said whoever wins game 1. Yeah, I like that. I like that as a pick. Whoever wins game 1 wins in 5.
Yeah.
It's a dog walking win game one way or the other.
1, 2, 3 Cancun.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bucks win game 1, I feel like they have the stars on their side enough to just it'll be over quick. Did you see the Pacers score yesterday?
Yeah.
What they did to the Hawks?
That shit looked crazy. I was looking at it like I couldn't believe it.
A lot of crazy blowouts yesterday, but that one, the 150, it was like 153, right? For the Pacers.
The Pacers, they had like 149 points with like 4 minutes to go. They finished with 157. 100. They dropped 49 in the first quarter. 49.
Get your work done early, you know. Front load. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Minnesota Phoenix though, because Tom, you're taking Minnesota. Phoenix 3-0 against them in the regular season, including 2 games in the last 10 days or so, including yesterday. Big statement win that kind of jostled the seeding a little bit, right? Like Phoenix moved out of the play-in. Minnesota dropped down to the 3, setting up a return date. Is there any credence to the idea that Phoenix, like you said, Trey, they've been inconsistent all year, that they've figured it out against Minnesota, that they've frustrated Anthony Edwards? Or are we throwing out the regular season and game 1 will tell us what we need to know?
You always throw out the regular season. None of that shit matters.
Yeah. Not
You know
anymore.
what I'm saying? It don't matter because, like, now I get to adapt. I get to adjust what worked, what didn't work. Oh, you punched me in the mouth game 1. Okay, that's my adjustment game of game 2. Let's see what to take away on this guy. Is he frustrated? Take away this. Make these other guys beat us. Pack the pain. Defend this person. Double team this person. Get this ball out this person's hand. Make Rudy Gobert an offensive threat. You know what I mean? Karl Anthony Towns, let's see how much he wants to force it off of coming off the injury after being gone for so long. There's different strategies. I think Frank Vogel is going to have his team prepared. But also Minnesota and the Thunder are the most disrespected top seeds at this moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
People think like, oh, if they fall into this veterans team hands, they're going to lose. I disagree. I think they're going to throw their best shot, but they have little room for mistakes. You get what I'm saying? Like these veteran teams are going to capitalize off their mistakes. If they don't get the 50-50 balls, they don't box out, they don't get the win offensive rebound battle, they don't stay disciplined and stay out of foul trouble, they're going to lose these games. You know what I mean? Because like the refs are different, the star power is different. Guys are going to be like really turning it up a notch. You think you've seen them in the regular season and you were talking shit? Oh, that guy remembers that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference of this thing called playoff basketball. Home crowd feeds into it. We watched with the Phoenix-Denver series. Phoenix shouldn't even been that close, but the crowd was in it so much that it got them fired up to kind of will themselves into it. The Lakers didn't win a damn game against the Nuggets. So you got to look at that scenario. It could get interesting. I'm really into
you think
it.
KD want to play the 5?
He don't care. He don't care. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the whack shit about what KD get the pushback about everything. Dude don't complain about calls. He don't blame nobody after a loss. He willing to do whatever it takes for the team to win. If he didn't get no shots, he looking at it. He gonna look at the stat sheet at the end of the night. There's no way such and such should have had 25 points. That was on us. That was on me. Blah, blah, blah. Accountability. I don't see that from a lot of players, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. But he also not saying, oh, my legacy on the line, I got to win this game. Because I think he's secure. I think LeBron's secure. I think a lot of guys are secure. It's the fans that are talking this up because we have that voice. We are being able to express and challenge guys and think that's going to make them play harder or that they're not playing as hard enough that meets our level. You get what I'm saying? So first round exit is a first round exit. They still going to the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like, you get swept, you get swept. I'm not going to take anything from LeBron if they get swept. You know what I'm saying? It's just more of like, this shit is not easy as it used to be.
Yeah. Because I think in some ways, them just playing their 5 best players, right? It's Gordon, it's Grayson Allen, and the big 3. And just dare the Minnesota Timberwolves to keep Rudy Gobert on the floor and see what happens. And it's almost like you're baiting Rudy Gobert to try to beat KD one-on-one in the post. And it's almost like that's the plan. Like
he
that,
will. He will.
Yeah.
He'll try. He'll take, he'll see like, I got the matchup. Feed me. This is my opportunity to shine. So
I hope there's some blowouts too that Isaiah Thomas gets to play.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I don't love the idea that he's that buried because I do think that he can contribute.
They played 0 rookies this year, by the way.
Who? Phoenix?
The Suns, the only team in the NBA, didn't play one rookie this entire year.
I believe it. Vogel was on some vet shit. He don't give a damn.
Whew. Just didn't even play. I don't know if how common that is, but they're the only team in the NBA that didn't play any rookie minutes. All right, so in that series, Trey, I'm going to go Minnesota. I just don't think that the third piece, Bradley Beal, makes sense for them. I think they got plenty of offense, even without Bradley Beal. And they're just, I know the rotation's shortened. I just don't think they have the bodies to keep up with Minnesota.
You said their best 5, Tom. One member of that best 5 just signed a nice, juicy 4-year, $70 million extension. I'm talking, of course, about the great Grayson Allen, the phenomenal Grayson Allen.
Love his rebrand.
But the main thing about this to me is that now they are locked into this team because His $15.6 million salary next year in the first year of his deal will cost the Suns $80 million in payroll and tax, run the payroll up to $206 million, an extra $104 million in luxury tax. That's the highest in the league for Big Pockets Ishbia himself. And this is your team. They did it. So they better win this first round series.
They're all in every, like, good or bad, better for worse. They are married to this roster. And the Grayson Allen rebrand, as you call it, Trey, was his previous brand Ted Cruz's son?
Clone.
He was one of the dirtiest players in the league.
Yeah.
Past tense, okay.
Wait
till the playoffs. Wait till the playoffs when shit gets testy.
I don't know, man. I think he's going to do whatever. Like, again, he's one of those guys, like Draymond, like Caruso, like said Chris Paul, that you love him when he's on your team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when he's on your team, Pat Bev, the PJ Tuckers,
Delly,
them dudes, you know what I mean? Like, when you got those dudes on your team, it don't even matter.
Jay Crowder.
Right? But the fact that Grayson just turned that shit up, like, he led the league. He finished the league, right? The
46% from downtown.
Ratchet.
On high volume.
Ratchet. Nobody could argue that deal. It was well deserved. It's well deserved. And he was a decent starter. Like, he was very, when it comes to headlines, bro just showed up and did his job. That's it. Married, living in the sun, just doing his thing, knocking down the tray ball.
Can you explain to people lethal shooter?
Explain what he does?
Yeah. He gets celebrities, but he also has, like,
he's a shot specialist. I mean, you know,
social media chip England.
Sure. I think that's the thing. I mean, he's considered a shot doctor. And he's made.
He worked with Grayson, is what I understand, but maybe I got that off. But like Grayson, maybe I'm mixing it up. But Grayson went from like a 40% shooter to a 46 this year, and that's really hard to do, that leap. So I chuckle at some of Lethal's Instagrams and like his social media stuff. It's very gimmicky, but it's got, comedy. He does skits and all this. But if you can get someone $60 million, yep, you're going to be in high demand.
That's the one. Like I said, that's all it takes. A real shooter too at that, not the guys that are like power forwards that only take maybe two or like, those are the impossible tasks. Those are the Olajuwon 50K summer post footwork workouts, right? Where you're like, bro, you might not even play to be doing none of these moves. You know what I mean? Like, save your bread.
But if you take like a KCP, like a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and then make him into like a 38% shooter into like a 44, like then that's the brand.
Now you're the guy. You're the shot whisperer, whatever you want to call yourself. And I think he's doing the gimmick stuff as a content creator. He gets to play both lanes, which is great because people get a kick out of that. I'm pretty sure he's making a tremendous amount of money just off his social posts and his engagement. So shout out to him getting multiple bags, but then also finding a way to be taken seriously as well, especially if his clients are succeeding at the highest level in that profession.
Minnesota Phoenix is the matchup of the new ownership that have come in and gone all in. Are A-Rod and Mark Lowry still the owners of the Timberwolves? That's a off-season situation that'll probably take till then to resolve, but we have both teams coming in, making huge trades, going all in, all their assets, maxing out the cap, and now they get to meet in the first round to decide who actually made a good investment or not. Tom, I think you've given me a prediction on every series but Clippers Mavs. So why don't we just finish up there and talk about that matchup? I think this is the one where Luka finally makes the step and beats the Clippers in the playoffs.
I do too. I wrote about this at TomTheFinder.com. They are the new Lob City. So this is a lot new meets old meets new. And man, the Clippers have a potential to look very old in this series. The way that Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. fly around the floor with Luka and Kyrie, the two craftiest guys in the league, is something to watch. And there's potential for this to just be over before it even started with the Mavs and the way they're playing. However, I would caution everyone on picking the hot team. We've studied this in the history. It is not predictive. The Mavs are on a roll. We feel like they're going to continue that momentum. And we see time and time again. Remember that the 76ers team that won 18 in a row in 2018 going into the postseason, they were out in the second round. There's so many other examples of teams that are flaming hot coming into the postseason and they get cold real fast because it's a new season. As soon as Kawhi Leonard shows up healthy, this is a different series. So that factor, if Kawhi's healthy, I'm going Clippers. If he's not, if he's half as impactful or he's not playing, if he's playing 25 minutes instead of 40, Mavs win that series.
I'm so glad we added time to talk about that Clippers Mavs matchup. That was really important, you know. So now we have to talk about the time that was added to the Lakers Grizzlies game, a whole 66 seconds, Tom.
Yeah.
In the end of the third quarter, what happened?
All right. So shout out to Ramiro Bentez, who broke this story on X. Okay. NBA in our stats. He on Friday night posted. Guys, did anyone notice that the timekeeper just added 66 seconds to the Lakers game last night? It's the first I ever heard of it. No one was talking about this in the game or after the game until my guy Ramiro was looking through his play-by-play files in a spreadsheet and being like, what happened here? No one noticed, not the league, not the coaches, not the referees, not the timekeepers themselves. Or maybe they did. Keep your third eye open on this. Do you think they all figured it out at one point, but just hoping, swept under the rug, no one noticed, and just keep it moving?
Yeah, my third eye is pulsing under this golden dumpster right here. Don't be fooled. Man.
And it happened in a LeBron game.
Well, it was Lakers Grizzlies, Tom. Surely it was a blowout.
Yeah.
No,
Lakers,
it was a 3-point win.
Game. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Watch it.
I don't understand how this. I got to do some recon on this. Like on Twitter, do you think people were on Twitter like being like, "Yo, it's 2 extra minute in the game"?
Yeah, no,
I don't think so. Because, like you said, the Redditor, the serious and focused Redditor, was the one to unearth this. And then it was so obvious that the NBA apologized.
NBA, according to Dave McMenamin, they got my guy Tim Frank at the PR department to say on the record, we have confirmed that the game clock was inaccurately set in the third quarter of the Los Angeles Lakers-Memphis Grizzlies game last night at FedEx Forum. After a shot clock violation, the clock was set at 2:20 when it should have been 1:14. The error was not noticed in real time by the teams, the referees, the game clock operator, or the stats crew. While unfortunate, the effort was not identified in time to resolve the situation in game. What?
Yeah, incredible stuff. A slip of the finger. I mean, they're getting off the hook in this sense, Tom, because in the 66 seconds, it was 2-2. It's not like in that extra time, all of a sudden the Lakers scored 6 points and then ended up winning by 3. And we can pretty much call it a wash, right? So they got lucky on that one, because if it was a decisive minute or turned into a mini run or any number of things like that, this could be a colossal problem. Because, you know,
betting,
Lakers,
player props,
if they lose, would have dropped all the way down to the 10. Like they would. That's how far they would have gone. If
Mace, this is not a story about what actually happened in the game. This is a story about what could have happened in that game. Right. It's the idea that no one noticed in the gambling era, in a very pivotal game in the standings with the Lakers trying to push for the playoffs, that no one noticed this. like, what does that say about not just the league, but the fans and like all this, that like we could have an actual game, 66 seconds added to the game in a pretty important game for the Lakers involving the most watched athlete in the sport, literally LeBron James. And no one raised their hand. We're like, hey guys, it should be 114. Like, that's crazy to me. So like we have the Jonte Porter thing happen. Mm-hmm. We have the NBA changing the way that they're going to call fouls halfway through the season, where it leads to shaving like 10 points off the final scores and the totals. And Vegas is like, whoa, what just happened here? And coaches are like, wait, what just happened here? And then we have people not even realizing that the clock was wrong by not like 5 seconds, by a whole minute.
And then we've got the Darvin Ham quotes, which I love because he wasn't even talking about the missing time. This is in relation to the fact that he had to play AD and LeBron a lot of minutes. He said, everyone knows what time it is. But they don't, because they gave him extra time. Then he says, it's that time of year, man.
Yo,
what? Darvin, come on, bro. Incredible.
The puns are great.
He knew he was hating in plain sight.
Did he call a timeout? Was he like, time?
But yes, and now we got to kick it all the way back to the first episode of Basketball Illuminati, Tom, because if LeBron was given a gift of 66 seconds here by Father Time, yes, Father Time will be coming to take that 66 seconds back. Yeah. It's the conservation of time.
Conservation of time. Yeah.
Will that time be taken? That's what we have to watch out for as we talk about the play-in games coming up in the Patreon section.
Now
when will that time be taken back from LeBron?
That segue was all time, by the way. It was all time.
It's that time of year, man. Everyone knows what time it is.
All right, can we take a time out here and talk about Patreon?
Yeah, let's go to the Patreon, Tom.
Patreon, thank you for subscribing. We are going to talk here about the play-in tournament. It's not really a tournament. It's not. They don't play each other, kind of. It's not a round robin. It's not like a one and done situation. There's no tournament aspect. Remember, the 7-8 team plays each other. Whoever wins that is automatically going to get the 7 seed. And then the loser of that plays the winner of the 9-10 to get the 8 seed to play the number 1 seed. And I got to be honest, I'm more excited about the play-in matchups than I am about the actual matchups that we know about. So
why is that, Tom?
Because we've got Chris Paul. That's it. It's shouts to the Deeks. Shouts to the Deeks right here.
Okay. I see. Wake Forest hat. Got it.
Yeah. We got some great matchups here. A lot of juice. We got the Pelicans and Lakers. Really juicy matchup with Brandon Ingram, BI coming back. Yesterday's game, looking pretty good physically, but the numbers weren't really showing, backing that up. But the Lakers, Pelicans, I still remember when AD switched his agent to go clutch, and it was like, there's no way this is going to happen. There's no way the Pelicans are going to do this trade. And they ended up doing the trade, and it all comes down to this, right?
That's all. This is the that's all folks matchup.
The that's all folks matchup. AD and LeBron are playing the Pelicans to cement their spot into the playoffs. And we got Zion healthy, which is great. We got the Pelicans, who I think have a big chip on their shoulder here, and they're playing at home in New Orleans. So that's going to be cool. I went to a Pelicans Warriors series. Remember that one AD tried to block Steph Curry's shot in the corner at the last second? Like, Steph Curry got completely trampled in that shot, and he hit it at the last second, the buzzer beater. It was fun. The New Orleans atmosphere was really fun at Smoothie King. Yeah. I hope they get hyped for this game. I hope you don't see a single Lakers jersey in that arena. Trey, you excited about this matchup?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got homies playing in this, so, I'm always fired up, and
LeBron being your homie, right?
No, not my guy.
No, that's Waz's guy. In Clutch We Trust. That's Wednesday's show.
I mean, look, big fan of LeBron. I think he's, like I said, he's must see. Like he was willing and dealing the other night at 15 assists. Still a superstar. I think there was a difference between night and day, right? Where you've seen Zion being a star and LeBron being a superstar. And it was like, there's a tier. There's still, LeBron James is still LeBron James.
17 assists. 17.
Yeah, 17 in the first half.
17. And then like, oh, let me score on you. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, I still do this. And I think that's a big deal, you know what I mean, in this situation. And I think the Pelicans are going to come back refocused. And I think that they can do what they need to do. But they got to put it together.
They're favored right now. Right now, I'm looking at one of the odds here, a spread of New Orleans -1 at this taping right now.
Huge favored.
Huge favorite.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank God for that home court advantage. All right, so that's the 7-8 seed. I'm gonna go
real quick though, Trey. I gotta ask. We talked about how the Timberwolves and the Thunder are getting disrespected as top seeds.
Yep.
Is it even worth talking a consideration that you would throw this game to avoid Denver if you're the Lakers?
Absolutely. They do not want to see. They will go home 4-0. They can't beat them. They will beat again. Like
winning this play-in game, the 7-8 play-in game in the West is a date with the Joker
that you don't want. And I think that's the weird thing about it, because they should have rested the game before, right?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think that was strategic, because now you also don't want to go into the playoffs off a loss, which is strange. But I mean, I don't know,
you never want
to
put yourself in the situation of facing elimination in the second part of the play-in.
But there's no ducking it. I don't think that they're good enough to strategize anyway. There's the evidence there. They're going to get put out at some point. So just try your best at this point. Play your best game. Hope that everybody's healthy, that everybody's making shots, and maybe you steal a game or two and you look as better as but I don't see any teams out of the West beating Denver right now.
Right. Especially in the first round. Yeah.
I just don't see it happening, bro. Not a OKC, not a Minnesota, not a Phoenix. I just don't see it.
Let me ask you this. Would you, if you're the Lakers, would you rather play to win and play Denver, or would you rather lose potentially facing Steph and the Warriors? If Steph and the Warriors beat the Kings, they move into the second of the play-in round.
I like my chances against the Warriors.
Yeah, but then the downside is you don't even make the playoffs, right? So that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. If the Lakers miss the playoffs, whereas it's not that embarrassing to get swept by the Nuggets.
They've been ninth all year. So
I think I know what Adam Silver wants. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I think he wants LeBron with the chance to go to the playoffs.
If LeBron doesn't make the playoffs, he's going to be looking like most of those commentators when Iowa lost. Say that and enjoy that. We looked at they didn't like that. So we'll see. We'll see if the game's rigged or
see if there's some last second adjustments to the script, some rewrites under the wire.
Deluxe edition.
Yeah. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, given my residence, but I do not think the Kings are going in the right direction here. They've lost.
What are you talking about? They beat the star-studded Blazers by 40 last night.
They sent Tom packing. They sent Tom to Cancun on Sunday. Yep. And it's a rematch of last year's first-round matchup, right?
But they don't have Kevin Huerter or Malik Monk.
They don't have the wings. Malik Monk has been awesome for the Kings his entire time there. And Sabonis is going to have to show up. Sabonis is going to have to play his game, because we saw Looney outplay him in the whole series last year. It's a lot on Sabonis. It's a lot on De'Aaron Fox. I like the Warriors' chances in this play-in matchup. And then you're setting up a much tougher date with either the Lakers or the Pelicans in that second game.
Yeah. I think the Warriors are so much better than any of those 4 teams in there. I think they're if they played Minnesota, I would have taken the Golden State Warriors in that series.
The Thunder are really damn good. And I think if the Warriors make it to a 1-8 with the Thunder, I think that could be a really entertaining series.
Awesome.
Really entertaining. And it could either be that like the young guns are ready to take that next step, and so they're going to beat a really veteran savvy team, or the Warriors are putting it together. They're going to put their tumultuous regular season with as many issues as you could possibly imagine and give it one more shot. But either way, I'd like to see it. So that is my hope. I hope the Warriors dig themselves out of this, but because they messed around all year, they got to win 2 play-in games just to get a date with the 1 seed Thunder.
Speaking of getting into the playoffs and who knows what happens after that, the Miami Heat are back in the play-in, looking to repeat as the East champs with a date against the inevitable Denver Nuggets. They're trying to do it again. They are sickos for playing down and getting into the play-in tournament again. They're sickos. Backs against the wall. This is what Eric Spoelstra wants.
And Jimmy. This is what Jimmy wants.
That's what Jimmy wants. They love the feeling of burning the boats. Pat Riley loves to use the burning of the boats line. Mm-hmm. You're the soldiers in wartime, and you get onto the shores, and what do? You burn the boats. There's no going back now. Okay? So they're burning the boats right now. They're going against the Philadelphia 76ers, and holy shit, it's terrifying. Joel Embiid missed the season-ending game because of injury management. I don't like that at all. I feel like there's a lot more there. I'm very nervous about Embiid. I felt like maybe he came back too quickly with the injury, the knee injury. It is the Miami Heat, so they're going to be nasty. They're going to be, Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler are going to test Embiid every single play down the floor. I got the Miami Heat winning that matchup, and they're going to face the number 2 seed, the New York Knicks, which is maybe I'm just rooting for that. You know what? Either way, if it's
that
Philly,
sounds so
Knicks,
good, man. That sounds so good. The number 2 seed, New York Knicks. Mm-hmm. The earth is healing, man. It's 78 degrees outside right now in lovely New York City.
Go New York, go New York, go New York, go.
And the Knicks are a 2 seed.
Shouts to your boy Jerry Ferrara and Ariel Helwani doing the shooting video that they did with Spree at MGM. I was hanging on every shot for those dudes. They didn't play pig or horse. They played lion. Nice brand.
Shouts to names. MGM.
Anyway, the Knicks are waiting to see who wins that 7-8 matchup between the Heat and the Sixers. I think they're hoping for the Sixers, the Knicks. I think they're hoping for the Sixers.
Of course.
No one wants to see the Heat. Even the number 1 seed Boston Celtics don't want to see the Heat.
I don't know, man. Sometime in Slam Magazine just put out Jimmy Butler Heat warning cover.
Do you think who's a better team? No one wants to see them or gonna make some noise? Who's the better team?
It's got to be no one wants to see them, right?
Yeah. I think make some noise. They're going to make some noise team is better than nobody wants to see them. I feel like nobody wants to see them is kind of make some noise. You know what? I'm going with nobody wants to see them.
Okay. After careful consideration. What, we're not going to talk about Hawks Bulls?
Huh?
Something happening?
Go Bulls. You know my dogs.
How about Billy Donovan coaching from the seats? Sat down in the courtside seats rather than the coaching staff at one point in that game.
Is he getting ready to move
the
to
fans
Kentucky
hadn't
or
come,
what?
just doing whatever he can, man. But Mark Pope gets the job, and Billy Donovan has to, go sit in courtside seats away from his coaching staff, just trying to get through it. Shouts to Billy D. Yeah, Trae Young's back. I don't know if that's a good thing, but they clearly got their asses handed to them in the last game by 50 points to the Pacers. So we'll see. I feel like the Hawks are a lost cause, lost season. And this matchup
is it a play in or is it a play out, Tom?
It's a play out. This is a play out. Play out the music. Do we need this? I feel like,
yeah. I mean, the play in is looking real good in the West because 8, 9, 10 basically have the same record, and then Pelicans and Suns tied and switched at the last second on a dime. So it's like, yeah, there's 10 good teams in the West, and there's 8 good teams in the East, and they probably could have just used the normal playoffs. It would have been cool.
Yes. The Atlanta Hawks are 36-46, 10 games under 500. What are we doing? What are we doing?
An extra game or two, Tom. It's good for them.
The Golden State Warriors are 46-36. The Hawks are 36-46, and they have the same seed. Maybe that's the story. Maybe we do hey, all right, solve this. Why don't we just let the seeds pick their opponent? Top seeds pick their opponent here, rather than doing the play-in tournament. Because Kevin O'Connor, KOC, tweeted this out yesterday. I wrote about this, planting my flag here like 4 years ago for NBC Sports. The top seeds should be able to choose their opponent, so we don't get this whole tanking at the last game of the season and trying to lose to play the seeding matchups. I want the first round team, or the number 1 seed team, to get first pick on who they play, and the second team get the next pick, and the third team, and then 4 or 5. Nate Duncan. 8? Yeah, top 8. Nate Duncan chimed in and said, I love this, but it's not going to happen because no GM and no coach is going to vote for this in the competition committee, because if you choose a team and you lose, your ass is getting fired.
Yeah.
So no GM, no coach is ever going to vote for this, because the upside is fine, but the downside is pink slips.
Yeah, that's a tough
Trey,
one.
Are you for the idea of the number 1 seed not only gets home court advantage, but they get first pick at picking their opponent in the first round?
I'm for it. That makes it fun.
If you're Boston or if you're OKC, who are you picking?
All right, so if I'm Boston, I'm picking Cleveland in that matchup.
The 4?
The 4. Yep. If it's top 8, all right. You want Orlando? You're saying Orlando? They could have been the number 2 seed. Like, it wasn't that far away that like Cleveland and Orlando were going to be like possible 2 seeds. But I think they go for I think Boston goes for Cleveland.
I like that. I like the cojones on that impossible imagined pick. What about if you're the Thunder, Tom?
Thunder, I go well, are we going 1 through 8 here? Yeah, 1 through 8. All right, so 1 through 8, I'm going to go with the Clippers. OKC wants the Clippers.
Okay.
Yeah. Banged up Kawhi.
Going for the 4 seed each time. That's You're saying the 4 seed is looking the worst out of both conferences. That's who you want to play
right now. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait for these playing games. It's going to be a great time. Next week it will at least be 1 game into the first round, right? By the time we meet again for coming home. So we'll have a better idea of what we're looking at, and I'm excited to watch the playoffs with all you guys. And Tom is free to watch whatever games he wants at night. He's the real winner. God.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to have my life back. I had a double life. Now I'm just going to have my previous life. Be careful what you wish for. My wife is like, who are you? I'm like, it's good to see you too. That's the thing. Glad we're having this on the Patreon.
Tom's coming home. To his house.
I'm coming home, kids.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home. Daddy's officially to the crib.